Roblox VR is weird. I've never once touched Roblox VR in my life. That is, until today, because when I finally tried Roblox VR for myself, it was... It's coming! You bastard! Ah! Truly. Oh my god! Is something else. I've had a VR headset collecting dust for years, and I always told myself, yeah, maybe one day I'll play Roblox VR, which was a complete lie, mind you, because I never got around to it. So today, that's changing. I'm finally playing Roblox VR. We're gonna play some of the biggest VR games on the platform, and one game that was not meant to be played in VR. And surprisingly, it worked well. After all of this, I should be able to answer one simple question. Is Roblox VR actually good? Starting with... VR hands. You know I had to cover this game if you've seen anything remotely related to Roblox VR content on YouTube. This is the Roblox VR game, to the point that if you opened up any Roblox video, it'll end up going like this. Hi guys, welcome to my video. I'm gonna be covering Roblox virtual reality and the best games ever called virtual reality hands. Although I can't play it because recently I had my hands removed because I kept trying to eat them. The interesting thing about VR hands is I do not remember it being as one-sided as it is today. When I first played VR hands on PC, VR players genuinely felt kind of rare, like properly rare. In any given server in like, let's say 2020, you'd be given like 20 people and a good 2 people on VR. How do I know this for a fact, you may ask? I must confess to you, I've actually lied. I have played Roblox in VR once. It was in 2020 and I actually recorded it, but it's best not to think about that.
We will go. Oh no!
I remember really liking the dynamic of how it used to be, where there were only like a finite amount of guys on VR and like 20 PC players all crowding around one guy. Now though, it's just all VR players, and I feel like that actually takes away from a lot of what the game was to me. I genuinely struggled to find more than like 2 people who weren't on VR in the entire time, which, I mean, on paper it doesn't sound like a bad thing. The game finally is what it calls itself, a VR game, but to me that kind of ruins what I liked it for. VR Hands is a game where you get, if I give you 10 seconds, would you be able to guess what you receive? Yes, you get hands, but in virtual reality, it's groundbreaking stuff. These hands you have, despite looking fucking ugly and blocky, can interact with basically everything in this sandbox. There's a lot of things you can interact with, most of them just being small trinkets, but I found myself constantly finding new things around the map, and during my half an hour of gameplay, I don't think I actually saw everything the game has to offer, which is actually kind of crazy for a sandbox game like this. Some of the many little trinkets you are afforded are these little Lego bricks that are very cool looking. The keyword is looking because I ended up standing there in silence trying to smack these things together for more than 3 minutes, which probably looked very embarrassing from an outsider's perspective. Another standout to me was this chess set, which is crazy to assume that people like me know how to play chess. Spoilers, I'm not very smart in any capacity, so instead of playing chess, I ravaged the board in a fit of my vicious chud rage. At one point, I was flying around the map just looking for shit to mess with, and I turned the corner to witness LeBron fucking James, so I obviously run over there and I'm stopped by this man who I engage with a brutal fist fight in, although it was pretty one-sided and I just ended up having my slippery fingers slide off this dude's face. We decided to form a truce by playing a game of patty cake, which was probably the best thing I've ever experienced in VR, to be quite honest. The one time I actually tried to use the props in this game properly, I was swiftly shown that there was no people to experiment on. I thought it would be a perfect idea to grab this little ship thingy, slap people into it, and fly the airplane around this obby on the map. A perfect, amazing, beautiful plan, you might be saying. And I'd agree with you there, but the one and only person who that wasn't a VR player was already surrounded by like 2 dudes. I tried kidnapping them, but in fact it did not work. So I settled for the next best thing, which was this stupid looking plush I found on the ground, and I made him do the obby instead. He was doing pretty good until I tried to rest him on this very stable looking bridge in which he somehow fell through. I'll give this game some credit where it's due. It does what it sets out to do perfectly. It's an amazing sandbox with a lot of options. The interactions I had were fun, and the physics actually felt super nice for what it was, which is kind of crazy from a Roblox game. So honestly, I'm rating VR Hands a solid C. A high C if you've got friends with you, probably even a B if you get into the right game, but as I played it, being a lonely bastard with none of my friends on, I'd give it a C. Man, let me get into EDGEWORKS, because I'm really disappointed by it actually. Compared to everything else I covered today, this game is what I'd call a potential game. Kinda like the Potential Man, but a little worse. I spent 400 Robux on this game, and it had everything going for it. Seriously, this game looks really nice. It's actually one of the better looking Roblox VR games that I've played, and it even follows a story that is... well, I was a bit too distracted to properly follow it because I was busy doing this.
I'm magging. I'm magazining. Oh, I'm magazining. Oh.
Oh my god, there's so many.
The game starts off with what I can only assume to be an afterlife. I assume that because it said so. The opening has you standing in this bright white void while some narration talks to you, and immediately it breaks and sends you to this dark industrial corridor, which honestly caught me off guard the first time I played it. You get a call on your wristwatch from the most annoying little fella imaginable.
I'm in the fucking...
Who the fuck?
Can you hear me?
It's fucking Wheatley.
Is he British?
It's Wheatley.
Are you able to hear
What?
me?
Wheatley.
I'm being so serious when I say it. This guy pissed me off so bad. He genuinely never stopped speaking. I had to spend an embarrassing amount of time slamming my hand into my wrist, like I was poking and slapping at it and it would not answer. Eventually it got so bad I started verbally responding to him out loud. I literally verbally spoke to my own wrists. Now, if you're the most astute man on earth, you might have noticed that EDGEWORKS doesn't really replace you with a predetermined protagonist. Instead, it takes your Roblox avatar and actually turns it into a little character, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a game do this. After Wheatley's distant relative finishes explaining things I don't particularly care about, I pry open a vent with my bare hand because apparently I'm a fucking ripped beast. I crawl through the vent, dropping me into another room, and then I get stuck climbing a singular ladder for more time than any normal person should. It was genuinely embarrassing to the point that when I got up, I ended up getting my hand fucking lodged into the railing and couldn't pull it out. Proceeding through yet another hallway, and let me tell you, this game mostly consists of hallways. Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing, but I swear to God, most of this place is just hallways or vents. I'm blessed with a floorboard that I can pry open and crawl into. The vent I crawl into is hiding away a little blue orb thingy, which my character instantly sucks into his chest for some reason. The wristwatch Wheatley tells me that this is some sort of memory. Now hearing that, I'd presume I got something cool. A fucking blue orb flew into my chest cavity, so I do hope I get something cool. And those were my last words before I found out he gave me a flashlight. So thanks, game. I entered the next room, which was a room containing 3 of those memory orbs from earlier that I need to collect in order to open the next door. Simple, but they're all scattered around the room, so you gotta climb. And oh dear God, is the climbing in this game. To be fair, let me just say, it's not always awful. Sometimes the climbing in the game works. Sometimes. Most of the time it didn't, as in my hands got stuck in the wall for more than 5 minutes.
My arm's stuck. Help! Help! Help!
The entire section to get these orbs, you have to pull yourself up on these poles, and I felt like some sort of fucking roast stripper, and it probably wasn't my proudest moments. The hallway eventually leads to the worst part of the game, a big room with these worker guys. The guy in the radio decides the best course of action is to murder these random workers, which, I don't know, that feels a bit extreme. Think about it from their perspective. I'm some random chud who broke into their building and now is just shooting them for no reason. So I pull up my little gun, obviously, and I begin shooting at them, and well, it does nothing. I just thought my aim was horrible, but apparently that's just not true. I noticed a little bit after that my arm was literally displaying an error message, meaning that the game was literally broken, so I couldn't kill anyone, which is an amazing feeling knowing I spent a fat 400 Robux on this game. At this point in the game, literally everything started to fall apart. I saw enemies running into walls, which, I mean, flattered me that they wanted me that bad, but calm down, guys. I tried my best to progress in the game, even at one point tricking enemies to kill each other, but nothing ended up working. I just hit a wall. I literally couldn't progress, not because of difficulty or the challenge of the game, but because the game was old and bugged. So in all, I spent 350 Robux on a broken game, a game that literally catfished me. It looked so good and I thought it was fun, but it literally just, it doesn't work. So tragically, I'll have to give this game a fat F on the tier list here. And fuck you to the wristwatch guy. This is the first game on the list I hadn't played like an absolutely lonely loser and actually invited one of my friends to play with me. Because to be quite frank, it would be really sad if I played FNAF multiplayer alone. I think that would have hit a new rung on the ladder of being a fucking bum. I got my friend to play this game with me, and the issue with that is the fact that his avatar looks like this.
I don't like it.
I originally on the first night attempted to touch Mr. Five Bear himself, which didn't end quite well for me.
Oh, that.
I know I'm the guy that like got popular for critiquing psychological horror games and tearing into them, but this game was the fucking scariest thing I've ever played, and it's not because it was actually scary, it's because I was playing it with a VR headset strapped to my head. The night starts once you enter your office. You get a phone call, but see, I have fat fucking VR hands and accidentally hung up the call. This game has actually implemented a couple of new things into FNAF, such as this little beacon of light that you can flash at every animatronic, which I didn't know existed until I got jump scared by it.
Ah! I just saw like a divine beam of light down the hallway.
The way the camera works is it literally puts you into a void and makes you stare at the camera. But I kind of wish they did it like in Help Wanted, where you just look at the monitor itself, but whatever. First night, as always with every single FNAF game ever, was the most boring thing on earth, so we just ended up dicking around the map.
Grip the mother.
Why? Why? He's coming! You bastard! Ah!
By night 3, this is when it started getting real. The power went out almost instantly because the AI was genuinely out for our souls. When the power went out, we ended up running around a pitch black pizzeria before actually somehow not dying to the evil Freddy Five Bear himself. We somehow got to 6 a.m. in the nick of time. After all of that took place, we obviously decided to run fisticuffs with the bear man himself, which didn't end too well, to be honest.
Chica, you big yellow greatness.
Something Evil Will Happen is actually my favorite Roblox game, and it's also the token non-VR game of this video. Something Evil Will Happen, for those unaware of peak fiction, is a game based off natural disaster survival, where something evil happens. A shit ton of different disasters are chosen and can even be paired together to create an absolute hell. This game, if you've played it, you'll know is an absolute mess. There will be shit going everywhere, and I don't mean mess in a bad way, more of a, this way. And I thought no more of a better game to pick to play in VR than this game. And man, was that one of the best decisions of my life. At first I was struggling with getting the game to work well. In non-VR games, there's actually two ways that you can play. One where you kind of just sit on a digital cuck chair and watch your character frolic around in the fields. And the one I chose, because it's just better, is the one where you're actually in first person. It was a bit off-putting for Something Evil Will Happen because of the fact I could see my character's fat ass body, but this game in VR is genuinely one of the best Roblox VR experiences you can have. It had so much to the game, and it was the only game on the list I was actually thinking about playing and returning to. Even the day after I played it, I kept thinking about it and how much fun I had. It was genuinely that good. I really enjoyed my time in it. Nothing broke like literally every other game I covered today. Something Evil Will Happen is a game I consider to be infinitely replayable, and playing it in VR adds like another 400 years to the playtime. Also, this genuinely scared the shit out of me.
I don't like it.
Hey guys, it's me, Micah. I wanted to do the outro really quickly and thank you all for the 6 subscribers and 20 views on the last video. And hey, look at that. Look at the fan art on screen right now. I mean, it's just beautiful. Sorry if I sound a little blocked up right now. I have some hay fever. It's, my classic MicahDeez hay fever. But, as I always say, have a Deez-tastic day.